Alrighty, it's Tuesday, so that means it's sports and fantasy football. Easy for me to say, Q&A time. Let's get started. Thanks again to you guys that tweeted your questions to @PFSpot_Sligo on Twitter. Colorado MMA fan says I traded Russell Wilson, Steve Smith, and Vernon Davis for Tom Brady, T.Y. Hilton, and Dwayne Allen. Good move. You got somebody to give you Tom Brady, T.Y. Hilton, and Dwayne Allen, and all you had to give up was Russell Wilson, Steve Smith, and Vernon Davis. You found you a sucker. Well played, sir. Well played. Yeah, you hit it out of the park with that one. That was a hell of a deal. Congratulations. You beast! Beast! And for that, you're going to get a Bill Cowher. Good job! Good job! Way to go! Way to go! There we go. Junior 1485 67 92. Is Mark Schlereth a Hall of Fame contender, or is ESPN just blowing smoke up his ass? Excuse me. I think Stink was a good player, an annoying person to follow on Twitter with him plugging his stupid sauce or whatever, salsa, whatever the fuck he's plugging. That stink shit. Good player. Hall of Famer, no. To me, Hall of Famers are the true greats of the true greats, and he was not a true great of true greats. He was a good player. Nothing wrong with being a good player. He was a good player for a number of years. But Hall of Famer he is now. Headcase 814. Denard Robinson, C.J. Anderson, or Charles Sims in a non-PPR. I think you got to go with Denard Robinson. Got to play the safe hand. Alex Shirley 10. Do you agree with Goodell's suspension on Adrian Peterson? Because I actually agree with Goodell on this one. In theory, yes. I don't have a problem with him suspending AP the rest of 2014. Because if somebody says, well, you know, he was out all that time already, he'd already been held out. Yeah, but he had been paid. Big difference. He was on paid leave. Boo fucking who for him. But I'm still not going to give Goodell any credit on this, frankly, because it just seems to me an example of Goodell and the NFL only acting in a self-preservationist streak to try and drum up some good publicity. I don't buy it as being serious, like they truly believe that this is the right thing to do. I think they're just doing it because they think it's the right thing to do in terms of the public's reaction to it. I'm just saying. So, you know, yeah. I agree with it on one hand, and on the other hand, it just kind of seems stupid. Riddle V1. Tough matchup this week and need to win. Should I start Ingram versus Baltimore or Jonas Gray versus Detroit? I get the temptation with Gray, 199 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns against the Colts. You feel like you got to start it, but that Detroit defense is really tough. They're tough against the run. I might have to tell you to go with Mark Ingram against Baltimore. I really might. Let's see here. What else do we have? Washcash 81. What is your opinion on the DEA making surprise visits to certain NFL teams recently, searching bags and etc.? About time. I wonder what took them so long. I wasn't surprised at all. I'm like, that was legitimately my reaction. Then he also asked, how far do you think the Bulls will go this season, and are they a legit contender? I think they are a contender. We've got a lot of the pieces in place. I still have concerns about their ability to score at times and their ability to get more than 1 or 2 people to be able to create shots for themselves and others off the dribble. I have concerns about those things. I have also some concerns about their ability to defend big 2s and 3s on the perimeter. They can do a lot of other things well. But the fact of the matter is, the Chicago Bulls are only going to go so far as Derrick Rose takes them. Jimmy Butler can progress, and that's great. Paul Gasol can be Paul Gasol, and that's great. Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson can be who they are. And all of this, and all the depth the Bulls have, and all this and all of that. But don't believe the bullshit. The only difference maker they have, the one real star of stars that they have potentially is Derrick Rose. And they will only go as far as Derrick Rose can take them. Because he is that difference maker. He is that X factor. You best believe if somebody's going to tell you that Derrick Rose doesn't have to be an all-star in order for the Bulls to be a championship team, they are idiots and they're full of shit because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This Bulls organization needs Derrick Rose to have it in his ankles, in his knees, in his hamstrings, in his ass, in his heart, in his mind. They need Derrick Rose. They ain't doing any shit of significance without him. They don't have Derrick Rose play like Derrick Rose can play, and they need him to play, then they'll be bounced by the second round of the playoffs. No question in my mind about that. All right, let's see here. Let me keep going. Matt Mefe 2, thoughts on the 13-year Stanton deal? It's typical baseball. So stupid on so many fucking different levels. It's just dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Congrats to Giancarlo Stanton for being able to get Miami to give him that fucking much money. Good for him. Stupid for the game. Just terrible. It's just bad. I don't want to talk about it, but it's just not good. The shit is out of hand. And someday it's really going to cause a problem for baseball. They can't keep putting the ball, or for, hitting the ball down the foul line forever, so to speak. Jay Gore 492. What do you make of the Cubs not being able to sign Russell Martin? I'm fine with that. I wasn't really big on them going after Russell Martin. I don't think the bats are where they need to go. Nor do I think they need to plunk down that much big money on a catcher. I don't think that's where they needed to go. They're going to have to spend some money on starting pitching, which on the one hand is where they need to go, but the other hand, I have some concerns about that. See the money that Epstein has given out in free agency to guys like Edwin Jackson and Baker and Fujikawa. It hasn't been very good, the returns. That's a concern. But I'd rather them devote that money into their pitching staff and their bullpen than I would into a Russell Martin, in my opinion. UF Gator Chomp 93 has a couple here. Will the Chiefs' lack of talent on offense other than Charles end up haunting them if they make the playoffs? Yes. This Chiefs team this year in a lot of ways reminds me of some of the Marty Schottenheimer Chiefs teams of the 90s or the Vermeil teams with Priest Holmes. Teams that could run the ball, played really good defense, won a lot of regular season games, and then made the playoffs and lost in the first round. Oh, you mean like they did last year? Oh, you mean like they've done so many other fucking times? You can only get so far with limited offensive weapons and mediocre quarterback play. And I'm sorry, that's just exactly how the way it is. You occasionally will have that fluke where a Brad Johnson or a Trent Dilfer wins a Super Bowl, but by and large, that's not how you're going to win a Super Bowl. You can't win in spite of your quarterback. You have to win at least in some part because of your quarterback. Big distinction, big difference to bear out. There's a big difference and a big distinction. And, Alex Smith is just not the type of guy that's going to win you a championship, plain and simple. And they haven't done very much at all to help him either. Which Super Bowl was more epic in your view? Cardinals, Steelers in Super Bowl 43, or Giants, Patriots in 42, and why? 43 because I know you're a Giants fan, so fuck you. I'm not going to say anything Giants was more epic. I know I'm an asshole. I think 43 was more epic because the game was flat out better. I mean, 42 ended up being something, but the first 3 quarters of that game sucked dick. That's the truth. And you know it's true. That game was boring as piss until you got to the 4th quarter. It really was. T-Bar 121. Where do you see this year's class of rookie quarterbacks in 3 years? Not in a lot of good places. I need to see more out of them before I start feeling better about the future of this quarterback class, frankly. Kevin McAllister 6. If you could trade Cutler for a low-round pick just to get his contract off the books, would you? Well, yeah. I'd cut him. So they have to move on. They have to move on. The time for a full and complete total top-down, bottom-up rebuild has been, overdue for 2 years. They just punted the ball down the road. You can't do it anymore. As long as Cutler's there, you're not going to rebuild. This team must rebuild from bottom to top, top to bottom. If you got somebody to give you anything for Jay Cutler, you would have to do that. I would jump for joy. It's a sunken cost. It's been a sunken cost for years. This organization needs to realize that and move the fuck on. And given the hierarchy of idiots at Hal's Hall, does it really matter if Trestman is fired at season's end? If it's just Trestman that's fired and idiot Phillips and dumb Dick Emery are still in charge, then it probably doesn't make much difference. If Cutler's still the quarterback, it really is not going to make much difference. If they try to get even older in the offseason, again, it probably isn't going to make much difference. You've got a good point there. Glorio Sports. How far does Gurley's stock drop after his torn ACL? Whew, he probably wishes his suspension for the rest of the season, huh? Late first to early second. Where do I think his draft stock begins in 2015? Wherever the Seattle Seahawks are picking. They're going to want to get Lynch out of town, and Turbin and Michael aren't the guy. I think they could view Gurley as that guy. And with the position the Seahawks will be drafting at, you can fully justify them taking the gamble on Gurley coming off of a torn ACL, knowing he would probably be ready for the start of the regular season. That's where his draft stock begins. His draft stock would probably end wherever Oakland is picking in the second round or Jacksonville. He ain't making it that far. And frankly, if for some reason he did drop past that part of the draft, then it would really have to make you wonder what the hell a lot of these executives and front office leaders and scouts are thinking of, because they can't really say with a sound mind that it would be a good idea to pass on Gurley. It's just dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb! All right, so thanks you guys for submitting your questions. I'll be back Thursday for another Q&A. In the meantime, I'll have some other content on this channel throughout the week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, see you later. Bye.